Only in Port Charles can a shooting raise more questions than answers and leave the entire town spiraling into paranoia, accusation, and dangerous suspicion. But this time, the whispers are turning into thunder because a new theory is spreading like wildfire, one that could flip the narrative upside down. For days, fans have wondered why details surrounding Drew's attack felt off. The timeline is strange. The security footage is incomplete. The motives are tangled. And the one thing everyone keeps asking is, the answer may be more shocking than anything Port Charles has weathered this year. Buckle up, this is a 4,000-word spoiler deep dive into betrayal, dark strategy, unexpected alliances, and the kind of twist that shakes General Hospital to its core. The night Drew was shot, Port Charles was already buzzing. Sonny was distracted with mob tensions. Carly was acting strangely anxious. Michael was juggling threats from multiple sides. But Drew was calm. Too calm. Witnesses say he was seen earlier that day making a series of mysterious phone calls. Calls he claimed were business, but his tone was tense, clipped, almost rehearsed. Hours later, he walked into an alley he had no reason to be in. Moments after that, a gunshot. Drew collapses. But the shooter isn't seen fleeing. The cameras malfunctioned during the crucial 7 minutes. And curiously, Drew's wallet and phone were still on him, nothing stolen. It wasn't a robbery. It wasn't random. It was staged. Or at least, that's what some people in Port Charles are starting to believe. When Michael Corinthos arrived at the hospital after Drew was rushed in, he was acting strangely. Not distraught. Not furious. Not even shocked. He was tense. Defensive. On edge. Almost as if he expected someone to accuse him. Even Sonny noticed it. Michael kept asking questions. Did he say anything? Did anyone see who shot him? Was there a witness? Why did Michael seem so afraid? Why was he acting like someone with something to hide? And why did he insist on speaking to the police alone? To some people, it reeked of guilt. But to others, it looked like fear. Fear that someone was setting him up. Fear that the trap had already snapped shut. No one took Drew's shooting harder than Carly. She looked shattered, blaming herself, pacing the hospital halls like she was reliving Nellie's death, Morgan's death, Sonny's trial. Every crisis she ever faced. But there was something else. Carly kept saying, Drew didn't deserve this. He would never put himself in danger. Over and over. Almost like she was trying to convince herself. She refused to leave his bedside. She refused to answer certain questions. And she absolutely refused to talk about the argument she and Drew had earlier that very day. What was that argument about? Why did Carly look terrified when the detective asked whether Drew had made any unusual decisions recently? And why, when she was alone, did she whisper, Drew, what did you do? The woman who knows Drew best senses something is very wrong. While visiting the hospital for a completely unrelated reason, Trina Robinson accidentally overheard something in the hallway between two interns, something she wasn't supposed to hear. I saw Drew Kane's email records. He deleted a whole chain right before the shooting. That one sentence lit a fuse. Trina, being naturally curious, and having learned from Spencer and Ava not to ignore her gut, did some digging. What she found was shocking. Drew's last emails weren't about ELQ. Weren't about Aurora. Weren't about anything business-related at all. They were about leverage. Drew wrote, once this is set in motion, everything will fall into place. I just need the right angle. MC won't see it coming. MC. Michael Corinthos. This wasn't a coincidence anymore. This was motive. And Trina knew it. Sonny Corinthos didn't become the most powerful man in Port Charles by missing details. And from the very beginning, the shooting didn't sit right with him. Too clean. Too convenient. Too perfectly timed. Especially considering his sudden rift with Michael. Sonny told Dex. This wasn't about taking Drew out. This was about pointing a finger at Michael. Someone's trying to break my family from the inside. But Dex asked the question Sonny didn't want to think about. What if the person doing that is Drew? At that moment, Sonny didn't respond. But his silence spoke volumes. 2 weeks before the shooting, there was a moment overheard by Nina, Laura, and even Willow, though no one mentioned it publicly. Drew confronted Michael in the Metro Court parking lot. He was furious. Not angry, furious. A rare thing for Drew Kane. Drew accused Michael of manipulating ELQ, sabotaging Aurora deals, using Carly, treating him like a pawn. thinking he could fix everything with money or family loyalty.
Michael snapped back. "You're not Jason. Stop trying to be." That was the breaking point. Drew walked away shaking with rage. And for the first time,
Michael realized Drew might truly be dangerous.
Willow saw something others didn't. She saw Michael hiding a secret. She saw Drew spiraling under pressure. But she also saw something horrifying. Drew following Michael one night.
Willow didn't tell anyone.
Not Sonny. Not Carly. Not the police.
Because deep down, she feared the truth.
If Drew was unraveling. If Drew was jealous. If Drew felt he had lost everything. Would he do something drastic? Would he destroy Michael?
And worse,
would he destroy himself to do it?
Ava Jerome knows betrayal better than anyone. So when she visited the hospital to check on Carly, mostly out of curiosity, she dropped a bomb.
Ava said, "People assume the victim is innocent. But sometimes the victim is the mastermind."
Carly snapped back, telling Ava she was insane.
But Ava wasn't backing down. She told her, "Carly, Drew wasn't acting like a man in danger.
He was acting like a man preparing for something."
Those words shook Carly.
Because deep down, she knew Ava had a point.
The police uncovered something huge. Drew made a wire transfer days before the shooting. Not a small one. Not routine.
But a massive, untraceable payment to an offshore account.
Under a fake business name.
The same fake business name that once popped up in Jason's brainwashing files from Helena.
A name Drew should have avoided. But he used it anyway.
The question is,
who was he paying? And why? Is it possible he paid someone to stage the shoot? Fire the shot? Disappear afterward?
The idea seems insane.
Until you remember Drew has military training. Strategic thinking.
A past filled with manipulation and identity trauma.
He knows how to plan a covert operation. And he knows how to vanish a gunman.
Once all the pieces are put together, a stunning picture emerges.
Drew was angry at Michael.
Drew felt Michael undermined him.
Drew thought Michael was ruining Carly's life. Drew wanted control at ELQ.
Drew hinted he needed leverage.
Drew set up secret emails. Drew arranged a mysterious payment.
Drew walked into a dark alley, on purpose.
Drew made sure cameras were offline. Drew left clues pointing toward Michael. Drew whispered Michael's name when he was found.
This wasn't impulsive.
This was orchestrated.
And the motive is chilling.
Drew wanted to destroy Michael once and for all.
Hours after the revelation about the offshore payment, Carly finally confronted Drew while he was still unconscious. She sat at his bedside, holding his hand, tears streaming down her face.
She whispered, "Drew, please tell me you didn't do this.
Please tell me you didn't choose revenge over family."
Her voice cracked. Because she knew something wasn't right.
Carly had been through enough betrayals for a lifetime.
Sonny's memory loss. Jason's death. Nellie's chaos. Morgan's tragedy.
Nina's lies.
Michael's anger.
Ava's manipulation.
But this? Drew framing Michael?
It would shatter everything Carly has left. Late at night, after everyone else had gone home, Michael finally broke.
He admitted to Willow. "I think Drew wanted me blamed. I think he planned this.
I think he wanted to ruin me."
Willow froze. Because she had seen the signs too.
But hearing Michael say it aloud made it real. Michael didn't say it as a son of Sonny.
He didn't say it as a man with enemies. He said it as a brother. Heartbroken.
Confused.
Lost.
Willow held him and whispered, "Whatever Drew planned, we'll face it together."
But the fear lingered between them.
What if Drew wakes up and tells the police Michael shot him? What if Michael is arrested? What if Drew has evidence?
What if the plan is already in motion?
Sonny Corinthos has waited, observed, connected dots.
But now?
Now he sees the truth clearly. He visits Drew's hospital room, stands over the unconscious man, and mutters,
"If you set up my son,
I'll make sure you live long enough to regret it."
This isn't Mob Sonny. This is Father Sonny.
The most dangerous version. Because when someone hurts his children, he becomes relentless. If Drew truly orchestrated this, Sonny won't wait for the justice system.
He'll deliver justice himself. And here comes the cliffhanger.
After days in a coma,
Drew opens his eyes. Carly stands. Michael freezes. Willow gasps. Sonny watches with silent fury. The room is thick with tension. Drew turns his head slowly toward the officer waiting to take his statement. He points at Michael.
And with a weak, raspy voice, he says, "It was him."
The room erupts. Carly screams.
Drew, no, don't do this.
Michael steps back like he's been shot. Willow collapses into tears. Sonny's face turns to stone. And Drew? He closes his eyes again.
But not before a faint smile flickers across his lips.
A smile no one was meant to see. A smile that answers everything. Is Drew manipulating everyone?
Is he framing Michael out of revenge? Is he covering up a deeper secret? Is someone else pulling Drew's strings? Is this Helena Cassidy's final posthumous twist?
Is Drew brainwashed again? Or more terrifying, is Drew fully aware of what he's doing?
One thing is certain.
Port Charles will never be the same.
And neither will the Corinthus or Spencer families as they prepare for a war no one saw coming.